What's up, y'all? I'm Benjamminoutdoors, and this is my channel. What is up, yo? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're actually headed to outside of Atlanta to go pick something up for work. And of course, I'm on Facebook Marketplace looking for other stuff, and I found something for myself. So it was actually just over the border in South Carolina. We're headed there right now, and it's a potential track bike or a parts bike, depending on how bad it is. But I'm trying to get something set up to track in October, so we'll see how it goes. But let's get on the road and pick it up. Unfortunately, I was having to pick up an oven for work and this bike as well, so I didn't have my motorcycle carrier with me, so I had to bring a big long 16-foot trailer just for the two things, unfortunately. But it makes it a little worse, but it's not the end of the world. So we got the bike, but of course we're in the Atlanta traffic. Just got to get through this and we're home free. So I made it back. So the main item I went to North Georgia to get was that oven. Then I found the bike, and Morgan actually found patio furniture. We're gonna get the other chairs later, and then also there's a rug in there. So trying to make the gas worth it. But there she is. 08 model, so a year earlier than mine. I mean, there's some ghetto stuff going on, like, you know, hose clamps, you know, a lot of crazy things going on. Extended, which that's going to be coming off, raising it up immediately. And thankfully he does have a tank. He gave me a tank with it. It's rusty, but I might be able to clean it out and actually use it. But I am pretty happy with a $500 CBR right now. Welcome back, y'all. So today, as you can see, I'm in a new spot. So this is gonna be our new filming location for a long time. My wife and I just finally got around to buying another house. So this is gonna be my workspace. So as you can see, I got really good lighting in here already, just like my Lakeland house. Unfortunately, the garage is a lot smaller, but it is still a 2-car garage. But it's not a big deal. I'm just super thankful that we were able to get it and have another garage. Right here is a bike that I just picked up, and before you think anything, say anything, I know I need to work on some other bikes that I've had for 4 or 5 years, like the Gixxer 1000, and I will be getting to that, I promise. But I have some other things that I need to get set up before I can finish painting the tank and some of the finish work. But I am working on that. Anyway, this bike I picked up the other day for 500 bucks. It was a parts bike, no title, doesn't run, missing a few parts. It was wrecked, and I was originally going to buy some parts off of it, but then the guy offered to sell me the whole bike. Ended up, already had one guy look at it. He didn't end up buying it, so I ended up having to drive to South Carolina to buy this, and I'm in Alabama right now, but it was worth it. This bike looks like it's going to be a solid bike for what I want to use it as. Now, it's no title. I need to get rid of the swing arm extension and raise the bike back up. But the plan for this bike is going to be tracking it. We're going to spend the next video or so to try to get this thing track worthy. I don't have to go as crazy as I normally build bikes because it's going to be tracked. Don't have to worry about ignition system because there's bare wires. I don't have to worry about really anything. I just need to get it good, reliable. Probably need to get, obviously, a fiberglass front fairing, you know, make sure it looks decent and, you know, it's actually track worthy. I have a exhaust system. I have a GPR steering stabilizer that I can put on it. I have some stuff for it to make it better for the track. So anyway, let's get into this and start seeing if we can get it to run and everything, see if it was actually worth the 500 bucks. So the first order of business, we're going to get in to see if we can actually get power on the dash and see if the dash lights up and stuff like that so we can actually move forward. So Let's go ahead and hook up our jump box. This is given to me by CJ from CJ Media. It was actually a godsend. This thing has been super awesome. It's an air compressor and a built-in battery bank / jump box. Super, super awesome. I've used it a lot. Just gonna hook it up. Make sure it's on. And then we're going to turn the key. Oh, heck yeah. So we got 14,922 or 25 miles, excuse me. Everything seems to work right. It's giving me an error for the fuel level sensor just because there's no tank. I'm not going to crank it over yet because I want to make sure, take the air box off, look down the throttle bodies, make sure there's not a bunch of crap down there before I crank it over. I'm hand spin it over first, but I just wanted to make sure everything powered up. That's awesome. There it is. The tachometer went all the way to 17,000, went back 14,925 miles. And like I said, the fuel level is going crazy, but that's because there's no tank. I'm going to pull off the cover right there to manually spin the engine over and make sure there's oil in there too as well. I'm not going to go through the whole ordeal of putting oil in the cylinders. It's just a lot of work, and it's been sitting for a couple years, but I'm sure there's oil still on the cylinder walls. It's not been sitting for 20 years, so I'm not too worried about that. But I am going to take the air box off, the air filter out, and make sure there's nothing down there. So looking down here, it actually looks like there is oil, which is good news. Now I'm going to pull this cover off right here, spin it over a few times, and if it spins over good, then I'm going to pull the air box off. Oh, it's in gear. Yikes. All right. Yeah. Spinning over. That's good news. All right. Now check the air box. Now we're going to remove the bag. Dude was cool and covered up the ECU plugs, which is awesome. But we're gonna take everything off real quick. Gonna come from underneath because it looks like one of those plugs are broken, or one of the back, and then you push is broken. These are a little tricky to get off for some reason. It's already missing some screws. Oh, heck yeah. It's got a K&N air filter. Now, it looks like it's a little scrunched, but it is a K&N air filter. Yikes. It's a little crappy down there. It's a little junk down there. Crap. All right, let's check it out. You can see a little bit of rustiness down there. That one looks kind of bad. That one looks pretty bad. So I'm probably going to spin it over until the valves are closed, blow out each one so all the loose debris comes out, and basically plug each hole until I complete all four. and then we'll go from there. Now, this was a $500 bike, so I may not worry about it too much. The best thing to do probably would be like do dry ice blasting to try to, you know, blast that out. So that bike, the $200 CBR, I actually did the same thing, except instead of dry ice, I did it with walnut shells. So that did not basically just melt and turn into water vapor. You know, it actually was something that could destroy an engine. And I don't know if that is what actually destroyed one of those cylinders or not, because when I got that thing running, I actually ended up having to rebuild that engine and weld that case, the hole in the case closed, and that was actually off of the green CBR. So that's not even the original engine that was in it. So I don't want to do the same thing to this one, potentially screw it up. So I'm going to blow all the main stuff out, and then we might run it and see if it just eats all that stuff. And you know, maybe it saves itself, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time disassembling this thing for $500, you know. So I rotated to where the valves are fully seated up in there. Now I'm gonna blow it out. All right, so that had no debris come up. So now I'm gonna put a paper towel in there and tape that one up. Now I'm gonna rotate till this one closes up. That one should have some stuff that comes out. And we're good. So I feel pretty confident that that might save this engine. But we'll see. Gonna have to evenly distribute these screws because I don't have one for every single one of these holes yet. We'll do all four corners. Plug each fuel injector in. That one didn't click, but it is on there. All right, get the fuel line on. All right, should be good. I gotta go disassemble my other CBR real quick. All right, so I had to pull this hose too because it didn't come with this hose to connect the tank. Whew. That was difficult enough. There we go. Okay. Everything's plugged in. Now time for the jump box. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, button's not working. Might have to do jump a relay. There's a, the kill switch is faulty. Spins over kind of easy. All right, I'm gonna actually try an actual battery and see what that does. See if that does anything different. Probably won't, but there's actually a bare wire on the freaking one of the terminals on that starter relay. Like, you know, that's stupid. So I got the battery in from my other CBR, and I'm gonna try it again. Nothing. So the kill switch, for some reason, is not working super good. You flip it, it's got some issue. So I got my other kill switch that is working off of my other bike. Now I'm going to disconnect. All right. Now I'll plug in the new kill switch. So now I flip it on and off, and it operates as it should. Previously, it would only prime the fuel pump when I first connected the wires. Now, every time I do it, it'll prime the fuel pump. Except, still no start. And it's nothing to do with clutch safety. Well, speaking of, there's nothing connected to. One thing I'm gonna try is gonna be, this is a jumper for the tip sensor that I did on my other CBR. This is basically bypasses it. So I'm gonna put that in and see if that works. No. It's not it. Well, I'm gonna jump the terminals and see if it'll actually run this time. No, nothing so far. Engine might not be usable, I don't know. We'll have to test some other things like compression, spark, all that stuff. Before I start tearing into the engine and stuff, I want to see if I can clean up this starter, get it to properly work, because it might just be a dirty terminal on this kill switch. So I took apart the kill switch, and these terminals are a little dirty, so I'm going to clean these things off and see if I can get this kill switch to work properly. Now it's pretty clean, I'm gonna put it back together. So it went like this. Now we're gonna pop this cover back on. All right, let's try it out. Oh shoot, didn't plug this in yet. All right. Yeah, I think I fixed it. Now it's going on and off like it should. All right, so now that the kill switch is working, let's try to start it one more time. I charged the battery up overnight. Let's just see. One more time with the jump box on it. Give it some more power. Ooh. So it was really loud, so I threw a Two Brothers on that I had for this bike, and now I'm gonna let it run, and I'm gonna use a infrared thermometer to read each actual pipe coming off the cylinder heads to see if they're all heating up. Same. We got one that's almost 400. The other three are around 300 plus, so they seem like they're all working. They're all over. They're almost to 400, all of them. So I think we're good. So that is actually it for this video. I appreciate y'all watching. In the next video, we're gonna worry about trying to get it driving on the road, you know. And hopefully it's only 3 videos. The last video is going to be finishing it up. Since it's going to be a track bike, there's not going to be a whole lot of other stuff going on. I don't have to spruce the frame up. I don't have to like repaint it. I don't have to make sure everything's pristine, you know, because it's going to be a track bike. So that's all I'm worried about. I'm just trying to get it to be reliable, you know, safe, and look decent on the track. And then we're going to go from there. And I'll probably post videos of racing it, all that kind of stuff. It should be a lot of fun. So that's actually it related to the bike, but I did want to mention one thing, and that is considering all that's happening with the, you know, assassination of a public figure and Christian public figure, I should say. I just wanted to, you know, speak out. You know, I haven't really mentioned anything about me personally, but since there is it seems like there's been an attack recently on free speech and especially Christian values, I wanted just to state that I am a believer and I believe in, you know, Jesus Christ, and I believe in making, you know, Christ-like decisions, and I give the glory to Him, you know, considering where I am today. You know, I wouldn't be where I am today without His blessings, you know, and the gifts He's given me. And I'm trying to the best of my ability to be able to, you know, use those to learn and show y'all. Obviously, I'm showing y'all while I'm learning, but I also want to, you know, share this gift while also making wise, you know, godly decisions. You know, Morgan and I, we don't go out partying. We don't, you know, the only reason we have now 2 houses is because we work our butts off. You know, we don't drink, we don't party, we don't do drugs. We make godly decisions, and we just try to, you know, be the best that we can. You know, we live as godly lives as we possibly can. You know, we try to spend time in the Word. We try to be Christ-like, and you know, we're not going to get where we want to be if we're partying and living, you know, sinful lives. So I just wanted to talk about my stance a little bit, and, you know, if you don't like that, you know, you're more than welcome to leave, you know. Obviously, don't want you to, but, you know, I'm just trying to be a positive influence, you know, be a good person on the internet, because there's so many negative people, so many hateful people on the internet. I just want to be that positive influence
and just try to be an example of what you can be if you live a godly life. You know, I don't want to be one of the YouTubers that are driving like a maniac on the highway, or, you know, being rude and mean to people. You know, I want to try to be, I want to be a light. I want to be salt and light. You know, that's kind of my goal, you know, within this YouTube channel, as well as, you know, teaching y'all, you know, which I'm not like a super seasoned mechanic, but I do, you know, I learn as I go too. So hopefully y'all can learn, and, you know, I can be a positive influence. Anyway, till next time, catch you on the flip side.